So from a mathematics perspective in particular, students will be learning about probability, a concept that was really grounded during the scientific revolution. Students will learn how to show chance visually through sample space and tree diagrams. They will also learn how to calculate probabilities of simple events and interpret what those values indicate in context. Students will conduct experiments to prove or disprove theoretical probabilities, and they will also investigate the idea of fairness. For the end of unit activity, the scientific revolution, students will demonstrate their understanding of theoretical and experimental probability of simple events by creating a game of chance to be played. They will be designing this game of chance, and it will also have to include directions, a tree diagram with possible outcomes of the game, probabilities of each player winning, and an explanation of why the game is or is not fair and how they know. So the 5 lessons, the first lesson, they're going to explore what is chance. So they're going to investigate this concept of probability in simple events. They're going to play an impossible, maybe certainly game, um, categorizing different events into either impossible, maybe, or certainly to happen. They're going to investigate sample space and also be able to calculate simple probabilities. In lesson 2, they're going to explore how we can show chance. So visualizing chance and probability through tree diagrams. In lesson 3, they're going to learn what the value of chance means. So interpreting probability values. They'll be in stations. They'll each have a scenario, and as a group, they'll be responsible for creating tree diagrams, determining how likely the event is, and they're also going to interpret that. So, is it likely to happen? Is it maybe will it happen, or if it's impossible? Um, they'll also be creating probability problems on this day, and they'll get to present and be the teacher to the class. On lesson 4, they're going to explore how the number of trials influences the experimental probability. So they're actually going to be conducting experiments in lesson 4 and looking at experimental versus theoretical probability. And they'll do it individually, then they'll pair up, then they'll get into small groups, and then we'll combine all the class data to observe the pattern as the number of trials increases. The final lesson, lesson 5, they'll explore what is fair and how does chance determine fairness. So again, they're going to be playing a lot of games, they're going to be noting winners, and they're going to determine whether or not the game is fair. And we'll also investigate each game individually and determine player probability to see which games were fair and which games were not fair. They'll also begin working on their performance tasks, creating their own game of chance, whatever they want, and working on the accompanying documents like directions, the tree diagram, why it's fair, why it's not, things like that.